This is a cliff most men fall off right here. She says, I'm done. Maybe she said it quietly. Maybe she exploded in anger. Maybe she said, I love you, but I'm not in love with you. However it came out, it hit like a punch to the chest. And most men, they panic. They start scrambling to fix it fast. They send long texts, apologize repeatedly, try to walk when try to talk when she's shut down. Or they go cold, withdrawn, and hold space and hope space magically resets things. But that reaction is usually what backfires, because by the time she says she's done, she's already been emotionally checked out for a long time. Her nervous system has been bracing. What you heard was the headline, but what she's been writing that story for months. And here's the deeper truth. Most men try to fix an emotional wound with a logic. Most men try to fix an emotional wound with logic. They think if they say the right thing and explain clearly enough, she'll feel better. But women don't open up through logic. They open up through felt safety. And when trust is broken, her body no longer feels safe with yours. Let me give you a visual. Imagine her heart is a bank vault. The code has changed. But instead of learning the new code, most men start pounding on the door. They cry, they argue, they plead. But pressure doesn't open her up. It locks her down tighter. Why? Because your energy is still tied to guilt, fear, or panic. And the energy is usually unsafe. Quick story. One of our clients, we'll call him Tyler. He was in this exact spot. His wife said, I've checked out. I don't see us fixing things. He did what most men do. Over-texted, bought gifts, booked a romantic weekend. She ignored all of it. What finally shifted things is he stopped trying to convince her and started to become the man that she can trust again. He stayed grounded. He listened without defending. He owned his past, but didn't wallow in guilt. And slowly, she began to feel it. Not hear it, but she began to feel it. So, if you're in that moment where she's emotionally gone, I want you to breathe. Don't rush. Don't pressure. Lead with calm, quiet consistency. That's what separates the men who lose everything from the men who turn it around. If you're still watching and you haven't quit, and that already puts you ahead of most men. Now, let's break this down. What she's really responding to right now, it's not your words. It's not your intentions. It's not your patterns. This is what we call the trust gap. The trust gap is more of like an invisible wall between the man you're becoming and the version of you she still remembers. You might say something kind, patient, wise, but in her body, it gets filtered through months or years of unmet needs, broken promises, or emotional absence. She's not reacting to you now. She's protecting herself from who you were. Let me explain. For years, maybe you said, I'll try hard. That's not what I meant. I didn't mean to hurt you. And maybe you were being honest. But nothing really changed long term. So now every time you say something positive, it hits her nervous system like static. It doesn't land. It feels recycled, unsafe, and unfamiliar. That's the trust gap. And it's not her being stubborn, it's her body's survival instinct. One client, we'll call him Jason, said, I've changed, I'm calm, I'm consistent, but she still looks at me like I'm a threat. I told him, that's because she's not just listening to what you say, she's tracking the rhythm of your presence. Words can change in a day, but emotional patterns take time to rewrite. That's why I tell every man, you can't talk your way out of what you behave your way into, but you can act your way into a new reputation. So if she's skeptical, good. That means your new behavior still has work to do. Stay steady, stay persistent, close the gap with quiet consistency. And one day she won't just hear the difference, she'll feel it. That's when everything changes. When things feel hopeless, when she's cold, disconnected, or already moved on and moved out, most men take one of two paths. There's the passive path. They back off, give space, journal, and hope she notices. And the panic path. They over-apologize, push for conversations, and force connection. Both lead to nowhere. But there's a third path, the heroic path. This is where you stop reacting and you start leading. Not from ego, not from pressure, but clarity. It's built into our ELM protocol, a three-phase process we use to help men move from divorce papers to date nights again. Let me break it down. There's phase 1, EHP, the emotional healing phase. This is where you stop trying to fix her and you start healing. You become stable, grounded, and confident without needing her validation. You rebuild your masculine center. Phase 2, ESP, the emotional shifting phase. Now you stop just saying new things and you start creating new emotional experiences for her. She starts feeling safer, calmer, like she can breathe around you again. Imagine this. She walks in, distant. You don't scan for her approval. You just say, hey, I'm glad you're here. And you move on. No pressure, no tension. That moment, that's where the emotional tone shifts. Then there's EBP, the emotional bonding phase. This is where intimacy, affection, and connection return. Not because you chased it, but because you earned it. You created space where love can return on its own. It's not a quick fix. It's not flashy, but it works because it rebuilds trust in layers. Most men won't do it. They'll stay stuck reacting, not you. You're here. You're leaning in. Now let's walk this path. Let's make this practical. You've seen what doesn't work. You've heard the path. And now, here's what you can do today to start the shift. So step 1, the mirror check. Go stand in front of a mirror, quiet room, no distractions, and ask yourself, what energy am I bringing? Would my wife feel emotionally safe right now with me? Do I lead with grounded strength or guilt and uncertainty? Chris, one of our clients, did this every morning. He realized he was constantly reading her mood before deciding on how to act. That's not leadership. That's emotional dependence. When he showed up, consistent, regardless of her tone, her guard started to drop. And there's step 2. Make a silent deposit. Start rebuilding trust without saying a word. Pick up the dish. Do that, Aaron. Not to prove something, but because it reflects who you are becoming, not who you were. She walks in the room, quiet and cold. Instead of asking, are you mad? You simply say, hey, heading out for a workout. Just wanted you to know, I see you. I'll be back in an hour. That's presence. That's quiet confidence. That's what makes her go, wait, something's different. Then there's step 3. Focus on pattern, not outcome. Don't chase her reaction. Build the pattern that she can trust. Show up on time, stay calm, follow through the small stuff. Journal because it makes you better, not to impress her. Here's the final word. You don't need to become a whole new man overnight. You just need a new direction. Choose presence over panic, clarity over confusion, leadership over reaction. Start now because momentum builds up fast once you stop spinning in circles. Let me leave you with this. If your wife says she's done, believe her. Not because it's final, but because it's real. It's not the time to wait. It's the time to rise. I've seen it too many times. Men who thought they had months got served papers in weeks. They thought, I'll give her space. But space without structure just deepens the disconnection. You don't want to be the man who wakes up 3 months from now realizing it's too late. Now here's the hope. I've seen men come back from the worst. One guy, divorced and still rebuilt trust. Another 2 years without intimacy, now leading a marriage group with his wife. Not because they begged, but because they became a man she could believe in. So if you're thinking, maybe it's too late, it's not. But you need a system. You need structure. You need to start now. If this video spoke to you, don't just scroll. Act. Go download the Heroic Husband book. Check out the description below. It's helped hundreds of men all around the world rebuild from the ground up. Or if it feels tight and tensions daily and you don't know what else to try, book a clarity call with our team. One guy, Matt, booked that call while sleeping in the guest room. Today, he's not just back home, he's fully reconnected. So if you're ready to lead, not lecture, click below. Your wife may be done, but your transformation, it's getting started.